Hey everybody, welcome back to PT Outcasts. I'm your host. My name is Eric Robertson, and I think we have a really exciting episode on hand today. We have some colleagues of mine from around the world, and so we have Aline Miranda Ferreira from Brazil, and we have Andrei Yorgu from Romania. And I think I probably messed up his last name, but so Andrei, can you just say it the right way so that everyone hears it?
You said it almost perfectly, but due to the fact it's the first time that you are saying it, it's excellent.
Okay. Thank you for your grace. Good. Thank you for your grace. So I became acquainted with both of these very interesting individuals about a year ago or so through the process by which I was serving on the IFOMPT Standards Committee. So IFOMPT is the International Federation of Manual and Musculoskeletal Physical Therapists, and that's a new name for them. They kind of added the musculoskeletal in there. And we've talked about IFOMPT a little bit on this podcast and some other podcasts that I've been part of, but IFOMPT basically is the representative interest group or specialty group for world physiotherapy that focuses on manual therapy and musculoskeletal physical therapy, of course, but it was really born in this world of manual physical therapy. And individual people cannot be members of IFOMPT, but countries can be members of IFOMPT. And for a country to be a member of IFOMPT, they need to have organized their, I guess, national organization or association, and then also met the IFOMPT educational standards, which includes having a fellowship level manual therapy program that includes mentorship and one-on-one mentoring and didactic curriculum, and there's research components and all of the things that go with IFOMPT. And we can provide a link to the educational standards if you're interested as a listener in the show notes. But anyway, to get back to what we're talking about here, Aline and Andrei in this past year, or it probably started before this past year, but they successfully achieved their status as a member organization of IFOMPT. And so in Switzerland, in Basel, last July or end of June, I can't remember which one it was, but there was a business meeting of IFOMPT, and Brazil and Romania were both formally welcomed as member organization of IFOMPT, and it was really exciting. And the process to do this is not small. And so I thought it was going to be really fascinating to talk with them. And, sort of the title of this episode is like organizing a country. And that kind of is how it seems in my head, like, oh, what do you want to do today? Well, I might go cut the grass, and Andrei and Aline are like, well, I'm going to organize a country. So that's sort of where we're started. So I guess the idea here is, I guess share with me what prompted this effort. Like, why did you want to organize a country? Why did you want to become a member organization of IFOMPT? And then as we go, we'll get into all of the details about what that took. So Aline, let's start with you. Like, what prompted this move? Like, why were you interested in joining IFOMPT?
There was a group of manual therapists motivated to advocate for manual therapy in Brazil. And IFOMPT was well known by this group. Some of them was participated of some conference, IFOMPT conference. And when our association, Abrafito, was founded in 2013, this group thinks that it would be good to join to us and our association to become a rig from IFOMPT. So one guy presented this idea for the member of the board member to our association become the member of IFOMPT. And this motion was presented at the general meeting in 2015, and it was unanimously approved. So I think our members understood it was an important step to build an international network in empowering Brazilian physiotherapy.
Okay, Andrei, I think one of the things that's interesting between Aline's experience is that Brazil has a fairly well organized national association. There's a a journal that comes from their national association. There's several different interest groups already established with World Physiotherapy, but maybe your experience and your motivations in Romania are very different. So, Andrei, talk to us about your experience, why you wanted to join IFOMPT.
So, first of all, I didn't want to spend too much time being lonely. One of the reasons why I choose to do this, all these roads to become a member organization. So we started the whole process in 2015, 2016, and I heard and noted that IFOMPT is the leader organization in musculoskeletal therapy during that period. I was a physiotherapist for quite a while then, but in Romania, nobody was advertising or doing any type of policies or pushing towards accreditations and towards a better way of treating the patients. And it was like we were trying to reinvent the wheel all the time. And usually the wheel is reinvented by gurus and by very powerful characters. And I thought that it's time to finally have something that it's globally recognized and well established internationally. So I started this association because OMT-RO, it's an association, Orthopedical Manual Therapy Romania is the full name. The acronym it's OMT-RO in 2016. And I developed the full program of education with the assistance and help from colleagues from abroad, because we didn't have any musculoskeletal specialist in Romania in 2016. And besides this, we didn't have any educators, any teachers that could provide education during that period of time. So the main team that we hired in a certain way, and we asked them to help us, was a team from Greece, from a group organization, a member organization, which is called Hellenic OMTD. So a lot of appreciation and help to them, because they said yes to this challenge. And we put the basis of education in Romania, and it was quite a challenging process, because IFOMPT standards and IFOMPT requirements are something that you cannot finish in 1 week or a weekend course. So we needed to establish a 1.5 year program, educational program, which we divided in specific areas of interest. And then we had the challenge of pursuing and making the physios that entered for the first time, because it was something very new for everybody, to make them understand that they need to stick with us for 1.5 years, because it's quite difficult to keep somebody engaged for 1.5 years in the educational process that they don't have the full picture, and they don't have what is the difference between a musculoskeletal specialist or and some I don't know, some Chinese manual therapies, and we still have or osteopathic treatments. So we need to, even if it's a little bit dramatic, we need to fight on more than one direction with the system, because first it was the mentality, education that came with the mentality, then the scarcity of information on the Romanian market regarding IFOMPT and the idea of specialist, of musculoskeletal specialist. And in that period of time, in 2016, was also the year of when our national body was established. So we only have 8 years of experience as a national body. So there were a lot of new things and new directions that we needed to cover. But now, so 7 years in the process, we managed to take it from the registered interest group to the member organization. And it took quite a while, but we finally managed to become a member organization of IFOMPT. And with this, something that we didn't knew from the beginning, Romania, now it's on the World Physiotherapy website. It has the specialization of musculoskeletal specialist because of us. So it's something that we didn't knew that is going to happen, but it is there. And Romania has its first specialty because of the things that we did. So I think that this is a very nice hidden level, a hidden reward.
Yeah, well, I can't congratulate you both enough for achieving this because it's not a small achievement. And, what's fascinating to me is, Andrei, you started from, basically walking into the woods and trying to start a campfire from what you found laying around. And, Aline, you seem to have had a more organized approach of like the national organization and the association and the board of directors initiated this and with the, member input. But it still took you both the same amount of time.
Yeah.
Right. So it's hard to achieve. And so really congratulations to both of you for achieving this. It's really so fantastic. And I remember when you were standing up in Switzerland and everybody was clapping and it was great. And I felt like we needed even more of a parade. So I just want to say that. So I guess, Aline, were there already residencies or fellowships happening in Brazil? So you didn't have that same challenge of getting people to want to stay with an educational program that Andrei experienced.
Not. We became a RIGI in 2017 at the same time that Andrei. And when we started to think about to become an AMO, some difficulties came up because the major gaps are in the IFOMPT education standards and the Brazilian postgraduate programs. That is the direct hours required by IFOMPT standards, which is 500 hours. And normally our postgraduate programs have 360 hours. Most of programs follow this minimum established by the Ministry of Education in the country. And the majority, if not all, do not include mentored clinical practice. So it's the first barrier we face. So our strategy was to focus in another type of postgraduate programs, so fellowships and residence, because here in Brazil, this type of programs has more than 500 hours, actually more than 1,000, maybe 2,000 hours, and focus on mentored clinical practice. So that's what we did. We worked with the international standards on an existing fellowship program in musculoskeletal physiotherapy.
Good. So, it's interesting. You both sort of mentioned that one of the problems or one of the challenges to achieve this is that you need the experts to teach it.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't have that in your country because you don't have this certification. So the people who have you might have expertise in manual therapy. You might be the most skilled manual therapist in the world, but it doesn't quite meet the standards unless you have the right certifications in place. So, how do you accomplish that? How do you circumvent this gap where you need to start that? So, Andrei, you had people from Greece. Did they come in and do the classes?
Yes, we did this at the beginning, and we still have them as invited teachers. So we still collaborate with them because so we had teachers from Greece, from UK, from Belgium, from France coming and teaching different parts of the program because we didn't have the specialists in Romania, and I want to thank them for the opening and the full bother that they had to do this, and that was another challenge because you need to bring people from another country, keep them in Romania, do a lot of things with them, and also provide translation. But at the beginning, it was quite challenging because translation was okay, how we should adapt this to the Romanian language. So it was we had quite a lot of challenges during the years, and yeah, at the end of the day, if you want to do it, you definitely find the correct way. And I don't know if it was the easiest one that we choose, but it was the one that worked at the end.
Good. And Aline, who provided the mentorship for your students?
Yes, our program has existed over 30 years. So the mentoring system was already well established.
Yeah.
Yes. And to attain these IFOMPT requirements, we implemented training, informative evaluation for clinical practice for our tutor. And our programs happens in a rehabilitation center that is linked to a university. So many professors of the physiotherapy department work with us. It's a professor of our program. So for these programs, we have established mentored clinical practice, and the professor of the university helped us a lot.
Yeah, so basically you demonstrated the qualifications of the people who are already there. Right. Yeah. So two different pathways there to accomplish that challenge. I guess one of the questions I have again, and we'll stay with you, Aline. What, as you were going through this process, what was the biggest gap that you had to deal with in terms of content or expertise or missing content in a curriculum from what was happening in practice where normal to what you had to achieve for the IFOMPT standards? What was the biggest gap that you noticed?
I think the biggest gap was related to mentored clinical practice because our tutor working over 30 years, but not exactly how we the standard document. So we needed to training, the formative evaluation, the practice to give feedback, to understand the student. I think deep in looking for our program and rebuild them. So it's not easy to build, but not easy to rebuild program.
Yeah, great. And Andrei, what about you? Like, what was the gap that was the hardest to overcome?
The hardest gap was the research part, because so the level of education generally in Romania, it still needs improvement in this direction. We don't. This is the reality. Don't need to hide behind the finger. We still have a lot of very old literature that we find that's the best in the world because it was written by the first
And maybe it's in Romanian language, right? Like, so.
Yeah. Also, translation, it's a difficult process because in Romanian language you don't find too much new literature, and this comes from many different points of view. Aline, I think it's a little bit better because Portuguese is a little bit more established around the world, and the number of people speaking Portuguese it's bigger than the number of people that speaks Romania. But one thing, one obstacle that we are still having is to find a publication that want to help us translate, because they are always asking, okay, how many books are you going to sell? I said, I don't know. I think I'm going to sell at least 300 pieces. Yeah, but we need to know correct numbers, and how many people are going to make a photocopy of the first book that we sell. I said, I don't know, but so we still have a lot of things that we need to improve, and most of them goes hand in hand with education and development and in this direction.
Yeah, I think you even expressed to me that that's one of your next missions in your goals is to try to elevate education broadly, like including entry level education in Romania, which I think that's a whole different challenge, which might take you even more than 10 years. But
yes, but look, what I saw during the years is that if you are waiting for other people to do things, they may happen or they may not happen. But if you are starting something, at one point you are going to reach an end. It can be a dead end, or it can be the actual goal that you are going to establish. But me personally, I don't like for things to just to happen, and I don't believe that this is the correct way of approaching the life. So that's why I'm trying to be as involved as possible in the process, and I found it like it's a privilege that I'm able to do this, and in the same time, it's also a big responsibility, because when when there is not such a good level of understanding and education, and we don't talk about people being stupid, only not being educated in the correct way. They are two different things. So when there is not enough education, there is a lot of place for saying very, very wrong things.
yeah, so I think what's emerging here in our conversation is that Aline and I first, and then later all of the listeners here are getting this wonderful, philosophical kind of mentorship from you during this about achieving and creating the success you want to see. So thank you for that. I think it's really kind of wonderful. So really, I mean it. Aline, I guess a question I have for you next would be, how did you engage with IFOMPT, like from like their perspective? Did you, there's a development group that takes, earlier Andrei said the word registered interest group, and just so I can define that for everybody, when you first declare that you want to be a member organization of IFOMPT, and you have sort of the blessing of the National Association, or you are the National Association, you become what's called a registered interest group, and that sort of starts a clock that gives you sort of some access to resources, and the standards committee becomes aware of you, and there's a advisory group on membership development that Duncan Reed heads up, which is I think also helpful and probably interacted with both of you. So Aline, when did you reach out to IFOMPT? How did IFOMPT as an organization help you achieve this?
IFOMPT helped us a lot, especially if the ADMG group, because they support us all the time. They we have a meeting for many times, for I think it's 6 months. We meet a lot of time, and a member, especially a member, give us advice, support, feedbacks, and it was very, very, very important to give us direction to build this curriculum. So when this group, when AGMED thinks that our curriculum is okay, and it was okay to present it to standard committee, we do that. So almost 1 year working with AGMD and after with standard committee. So I found is all developed to give the support for the countries that want to be member of IFOMPT.
Yeah, so they helped you form the curriculum almost with like a feedback cycle.
Yes, feedback and support and example of exercise, example of lecture, example of everything that the curriculum is needed. So it's so important to have the support of AGMD and the standard committee.
Yeah, and I'm curious, Andrei mentioned interacting with Greece. Were there other countries that you also received mentorship or assistance from, or did you sort of do it on your own?
Sorry, for me?
Yeah, for you, yeah.
Only for one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So, and Andrei, how did IFOMPT help you?
So, first of all, I think that they are very, very well. They mean a lot of good things, and they are very helpful. This is what I wanted to say. The interaction with them felt human. And I didn't felt that I speak with an institution and I need to go through all the rigors and all the small things that an institution requires. And all the communication was very human to human. So they expressed their willingness of helping, and everything was just as Aline was saying before. We had full support in creating the curriculum and implementing all the details that needed to encompass the dimensions. They call them the dimensions, the 9 dimensions of education. So we had full support, and we appreciate a lot the communication with them. And at the same time, so it was support and a lot of human to human interaction, and also putting us on the straight line firmly. So, okay, you need to do this. How do you think that it's possible to do it? And so I really appreciated that they were not deviating from the standards, because at the end of the day, the standard committee was the one providing all the help with the build up the curriculum and becoming the member organization. So they were firm, but at the same time friendly. And I felt that they helped us and me a lot in this process. And they were the one pulling, come on, you can do it. Send me the modification, send me this one. And I really felt it like, okay, if I'm not doing it, I will embarrass both myself and them. But at the end of the day, we managed to accomplish all the requirements, and we are the member organization for the Romania. So.
I like hearing this from both of you in the sense that, one of the maybe things I hope for this podcast is that somewhere around the world, somebody's listening to this who wants to organize a country, and they maybe will be less afraid of the process, right? To just kind of hear what you went through, and that it's okay if you don't have all the things in place at first. There's people to help you do it. I guess one question I have, it took almost 10 years for you each to achieve this, right? From when you decided you wanted to, or when the initiative was launched, to when it achieved. Is it too hard to achieve this? Like, should it be quicker? Anybody? Yeah, Aline.
Now you're first.
Okay, so the process, if I'm looking backwards, is not that difficult. It's challenging, and it requires a lot of things and time, but it's not impossible to do. We managed to do it, so it's not impossible to do. What I think, I don't. I was thinking about this. If the process should be easier, but if it's too easy to get in, you will not appreciate the position that you are afterwards. So I think it's good to be a tough journey, and I would make some things a little bit easier, but not too easy.
Okay. Aline, what's your take on this?
I agree 100%. It's not difficult, but it's so challenging, and you need time. You need members, a group working together, and you need to ask help because the IFOMPT wants to help. And I think take time because it's part of the process. It's international curriculum, so it's not easy and fast. But if you do it step by step, asking for help, ask helping, ask be in touch with other members of other most of the groups that is prepared for a fund to help us. It's possible. It's totally possible. So for programs that is university based or community based, it's possible. So we need to give this start. You need to give this start, and you receive some help for our journey.
Yeah, it's some things just take time. Like you're cooking a roast, right? It just takes some time to do it the right way. It takes some time to train the people. But I also appreciate, I'm hearing like you also get this sense of pride from having accomplished it. What else do you feel like you're going to get from this IFOMPT membership, or what have you already experienced as positive benefits to your country or yourself or the students or patients in your country? What do you feel like is the benefit that you're going to receive from having done this multi-year effort? Andrei, how about you go first on this one?
So I think that the benefit, the extra benefit that we get besides the image, because now we are a program that's a member organization of IFOMPT, but this still needs to be understood in Romania. So probably for Aline, it's a little bit easier because people already understand the differences between a program that's not a member organization or didn't went through the process, and another type of program. So this is one thing that we can proudly say, that we are a member organization of IFOMPT, and our program it's constructed, correlated to all the educational standards of IFOMPT, and we meet the full requirements of this organization. So this is the first thing. The second one, if we talk about being a musculoskeletal specialist, now I think we can have the authority of saying that, look, the guidelines in I don't know, let's say cervical dysfunction, because IFOMPT was working on these standards for quite a while, or the manipulation, the cervical or general vertebral manipulation in children, pediatrics. We can have a better. We can say this louder and with the full commitment that we are saying the correct things, because still in Romania, and I don't know if it's the same in Brazil, we still have courses where they teach vertebral manipulation for babies, for newborns, for children, and people are going there and say, okay, but why shouldn't we do it? Because I saw it in a course. But now me personally, I feel a little bit more responsible about the information that I can spread and the weight of the information that I can put on the market and on the media.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, you're really talking about a pipeline from an international group and their standards right to clinical practice. And, and you're referencing, just for clarity, the guideline that IFOMPT recently put out this past year about the appropriateness of manipulation in various age levels and different groups of people, which is a really powerful document. Aline, what's your answer to that question? Like, what's the benefit that's coming your way?
It's a good question because we celebrate each step with when we become a RIG, when we become a AMO, and we achieve the MO. So we work hard, we celebrate so much. And why? What the reason to celebrate this milestone? And I agree with Andrei. I think it's give credibility and recognition of manual therapy and musculoskeletal physiotherapy in our physiotherapy community now. And I think in the future, when we have more programs spread to our country, we will have these reflect. I think we will reflect in elevate the standards of education and clinical practice and positively impact our healthcare system. So now, when we discuss about postgraduate curriculum, about postgraduate education, now we have document. We have a way to go because we are part of IFOMPT, the international federation that represents musculoskeletal and manual physiotherapists. So now we have direction to discuss with our physiotherapy council, national council of national government. So I think it's perfect way to be strength in our specialization.
Yeah, that's great. I love both of those answers. And, I think from my perspective, there's a benefit that I see that's maybe a little different. And so when you become a member organization of IFOMPT and you are the member organization delegate to IFOMPT, you gain a voice internationally, right? And so there's this secret sauce of IFOMPT. When everyone gets together, the standards effectively translate into a language that we all know, and it's a worldview, and it's a commitment to excellence in practice, and it feels really good to get around those people that have that same commitment to excellence and to understand that happens around the world, right? And so you gain this voice as an equal member of that group internationally that's focused on excellence, which I think is really powerful for you both, but also really powerful for the international community, which is further diversified and strengthened by your membership, right? So I think there's this this global, it's like excellence congeals a little bit. I don't know if that's the right word, but I feel like that's a really important benefit from my lens about this step that you took. Yeah. So, I think we've been going on for a while, and honestly, I could talk to you both for hours about this, but it might get rude. And, Andrei's later in his day, and Aline is probably really busy. So I'll have to, probably end this podcast at some point. But I am interested in like what's next. What are you working on next? Like, also. I asked you early, as in preparation for the podcast, like where specifically are you in your country? So maybe that's how we can answer this. We can say like, where are you? What are you doing? And what's next for you? So, Aline, let's start with you there.
Okay, we are currently working in a document to guide other Brazilian postgraduate programs in beauty or rebuilding their curriculums to meet IFOMPT standards. So it's our focus to spread postgraduate programs with IFOMPT directions. And for our country, because our country is so big, so it's only one in state, and we need to give more programs in our country. So we are working in a document to guide them, and that's it.
Yeah, good. And then in terms of where you're located, you're in Sao Paulo, and you're at the university there?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
I am in São Paulo, in a countryside city in São Paulo, and in a university. So now we need to achieve other states.
Great. And Andrei, what's coming up for you, and where are you?
So on national level, we are on a crossroads. I think starting next year, the undergraduate universities in general, they will need to adopt a specific curriculum, a general curriculum that is imposed by law now. Because until now, each university had a lot of liberty, a lot of freedom to choose what they should teach. And now the national body the Romanian national body managed to put this inside the law, and it's going to be adopted probably starting in 2-3 years from now.
Okay.
But this will, so 2 + 4, because it's going to be +4 years of the education. So in 6 years, we are going to finally have physiotherapists from all the universities in Romania that start with the same level of education, which is going to be provided by each university, but at least under the same direction of the curriculum. And I think for us as a postgraduate, we have 2 options now: to create masters inside the universities or in collaboration with the universities to help the people better understand the musculoskeletal specialization, or to find a way of creating a better program, educational program that is in unity with the international standards of education. So we have some direction to go. And,
some big work.
Yes, we are in a very interesting position at this moment.
Yeah, well, good luck on that. And where in Romania are you?
Me, I'm in Brașov. It's in the middle of the country. It's better known from the Dracula's movies in Transylvania. So I'm living in Transylvania. Transylvania is a region from Romania, and Dracula's castle, the one from the movies, it's 30 kilometers away from here. So.
All right. So the Halloween party is at your house next time.
Yes. So. There is no Dracula, but the castle is there.
All right. Good. Well, this has really been a pleasure. I really, I'm inspired by both of you. You're really like tremendous role models for the profession, and, keep doing what you're doing and keep pursuing excellence. It's really so inspiring. So thanks for joining me today. This was another fantastically interesting, for me at least, episode of PT Outcast, and everybody have a great day.